All right, I think it's working. No, nothing against the South at all. Yeah, I got family from a lot of my family on my mom's side is from Louisiana. But I'll tease every now and then, depending, if it's British people with the accent. If it's any, honestly, if it's any kind of accent, usually I'll tease and just to be silly. But I love everybody. How you guys doing tonight? Hey, my chair's like, there we go. Oh, I should probably turn down the music a little bit. Nice, Hannah. Okay. We got the South in the chat right now. We'll wait for some more people to get here before we start jumping into videos and stuff. But I put together a list of like 3 videos each for Scream 6 and Evil Dead Rise, like some behind the scenes stuff. I didn't watch them because I wanted to be like first time watching with you guys. So I don't know if they're any good. So if we get into them and they're like not that good, we'll just go ahead and find another one. Because it's hard. A lot of these are like, a fan put them together. Like they took a bunch of different behind the scene videos and put them together until we get like the Scream 6 and Evil Dead Rise Blu-rays, and then we can watch those extras. Yeah, South is taking over. Make sure this mic isn't in the way. All right. I got this Evil Dead Rises shirt. It's a little big on me, surprisingly. But yeah. I wish I had it for the reaction, but it came the day I recorded the reaction. It came after I had already recorded it, like that same day. But I still love it. Uh-oh. Dropping stuff. But you both have seen, everyone in the chat has seen Scream 6 and Evil Dead Rise, right? I believe so. Let me see if I can find. Did you guys get the notification that the stream started? Because usually I'll get a notification as well, but I didn't see any notification come through on my end. Hey, Cody, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. We're just starting. I'm just waiting for more people to show up, because I know sometimes the notifications go out late, or it takes a while for everyone to get them. That's usually why I put that that 5-minute timer in the beginning, just to give people time to get in here. I started the stream once right away without like using a timer, and it took 5-10 minutes for people to join, so it was just me in here. It was so awkward. I'm like, I'm not doing that again. I'm waiting till people are in here before I actually join. Second here. All right. But yeah, we can start with what do you guys want to start with? Some Scream 6 behind the scene videos, or should we do Evil Dead Rise first? Trying to find my playlist here. Yeah, I have one for Evil Dead Rise and Scream 6. Let me know which one we should do first. And then I also want to talk about best kills. Scream 6 first? Okay. Yeah, like Evil Dead Rise, there's not really many kills in Evil Dead Rise, seeing as like they just get taken over. But still, like, we could do like the most messed up scene. Scream first. All right, let's see here. Scream 6 BTS. All right, so I have 2 2 8-minute behind the scene videos. I don't know if they're going to be like the same because they're from 2 different channels. So I don't know if like they're just both the same video with compiled footage. So we'll check out one of them first. And then I do have it's like a 1:26 video that shows all the deaths in Scream 6. We can watch that real quick and see. We can vote on who got it worst. Let's see here. Let me get my screen going. 1 second. Oh, we got an ad.
Will predict which thumbnail will have the best click-through rate and lead to the most views.
Whoops, not yet. Okay, let me make sure I get it on screen here for you guys. All right, so this needs to go. Whoops. There we go. All right, let me make sure everything is in frame. That should be big enough. All right, this is a Scream 6 behind the scenes video. I'm not sure what's on here.
One of the things that I think Kevin Williamson and of course Wes Craven brought to this franchise, and what they did was they created a horror film that, besides the the meta,
That part was crazy.
telling us what we shouldn't do.
I
in
love
horror
that
films when
scene.
We do it. Everything was played realistically, so it's not campy. While it's really funny, it's played seriously. You actually are invested in the characters more than you're not laughing at them. You really don't want them to go because they're
That's
so
true.
engaging.
That's how I felt.
What Wes created is
I didn't want anyone to die.
Guys, everything that Wes
Oh, yeah, hold on.
would wanted to.
Is the volume like super low? I keep messing that up. Hold on. Let me turn it. Let me go back a little bit.
One of the things that I think Kevin Williamson and of course Wes
that better?
Craven brought to this franchise, and what they did was they created a horror film that, besides the the meta and going and telling us what we shouldn't do in a horror film and then we do it, everything was played
Okay, cool.
realistically.
Thank you for letting me know.
So it's not campy. While it's really funny, it's played seriously. You actually are invested in the characters more than you're not laughing at them. You really don't want them to go because they're so engaging. And I think what Wes created is incredible. And then the guys, everything that Wes would have done, wanted to have done, and the guys did it.
The one analogy we always
I can
use
see that.
if Scream 5 was the greatest hits, this one is the punk rock B-side of the Scream franchise.
That makes
And
sense.
I think we did that, and we brought some action to it.
One of the things that was so interesting to us is that we all got really excited about New York. And I think one of the things that we did is we wanted to make this a movie that is about people living their lives in New York, not New York.
Not the tourist version.
Yeah, so we were like,
Yeah.
this isn't about going to the Statue of Liberty and Empire State Building. This is about people living their lives in a giant city where there's millions of people.
I like that they
and
took
how
that
does
approach.
that energy affect it, especially in contrast to a small, sleepy suburb like Woodsboro?
In the subway, on the streets, in parks, wherever they are, there's a lot of people. And like, anyone can be Ghostface. That's what keeps people coming back to this franchise, that it's always someone different. So it just feels, the city feels more dangerous.
When you're in a big city, there's a completely different version of there's
so
nowhere
glad
to run,
Kirby
there's
survived.
nowhere to hide. It could be
I was
anybody.
worried they were going to bring her back just to kill her.
The killer could be anybody.
Kirby's back because fans love her character.
That's
And
right.
she gets to like play this, is she, isn't she, like, is she on their side or is she not? And all these like
I did
moments
for a
of
second there
doubt,
think like
and
maybe she is the killer.
I think fans are gonna really love that journey of hers.
Sam and Tara have moved to New York. That's where Gail has a morning show. And she hears about Ghostface because of the news. And she had written a book and she wasn't supposed to. She promised she wouldn't, and she gets back involved in their lives. She becomes a part of the group and she becomes a target.
There's a lot of callbacks to the original. There's a lot of
I liked
callbacks
Quinn's
to every
character.
single film before this one.
I thought the actress did a good job.
If you're invested in the story that Scream has created, you will not be disappointed.
I think there's just a relentlessness and a kind of rawness and a sort of up all night thing.
That looked really high up.
That we always gravitate towards. We love survive the night movies. We love movies that just kind of start, go, 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 and then when it's over, you kind of exhale and take a deep breath. It's I hate calling movies a ride, but it's a ride. It's you get on and hopefully you really love the characters, and that's what kind of pushes you through it. But I will say the set pieces in this one are the most fun we've had doing set pieces. Like, this was a new level for us.
I've never been directed by 2 directors, but
I really can't wait to
their
see
transition between the two
what
of them
they do
is
with part
so
7.
smooth. They know how to work together so well, and they've just brought us along for the ride.
They make you feel like you have all the time in the world to nail your performance. So that pressure that's always there as an actor to really nail it, it just gets lifted just a little bit because you know that they're gonna give you the time to get what you want.
I was given a lot of the material, in the script. Sam is written so well, and
I feel like
she has a whole backstory.
The way
because
they wrote
there's
Sam was a lot better this time
25
around than
years of
5.
movies that she can draw from, and of history of the fandom and how this franchise has grown that belongs to her, that is in her in some way, because her father was the origins of it all. So in a way that gives her a lot of weight, that gives her a lot of like a heavy burden to carry, which already makes her different, like from the start. Most final girls are quote unquote good
I liked her
girls,
too in the first
and
one.
Sam is not.
We loved the idea that it was set, that this story was
Especially
set
by the
right on
end.
the heels of the previous
But I don't
one, so
know,
that we could
there-
really
there's something
explore
about her this time.
how each of these characters
I think maybe just her
is
dialogue.
navigating or not navigating, refusing
feel like
to
they-
navigate the
they
experience.
knew how to
that
write
they-
for her
that
a lot
they've-
better this
that they
time
had in
around.
the past. And it finds them all in a big city, hopefully, surrounded by
Yeah,
an
definitely
energy that
not.
will help them
Sam's
move
a
on
whole different
and
beast.
deal with all they have to deal with, and of course, Ghostface.
I love
enters the
Sam and her
picture
crazy
to
ass.
realize that, even in a city of millions, they can't run and hide from this thing that's coming for them.
It's the family dynamic between the 4 of them is that
Core 4.
should something like what happened in Woodsboro happen again, at least they have each other to sort of rely and support each other through.
Moving the Core 4 from Woodsboro to New York feels very of the moment and of their generation. Like, I don't know that many young people who want to stay in their small town. And putting them in New York gives them more opportunities, obviously, to be slashed and murdered, but also gives them more opportunity to expand their friend group
Mindy's
and
still my
have more
favorite.
friends and have more diversity in their circle and be exposed to more ideas and thoughts, which I think lends itself to Ghostface being so much more brutal, because Ghostface is also exposed to more
I
ideas
love
and
that
more
shot. I remember when they
ways of
released that before the
murdering,
movie came out.
slicing and dicing.
These films to me are so frightening and gory in a good way. It's so realistic, the way they do the special effects and the stabbings, but I mean, I think that
The
people are gonna go
stabbings.
nuts.
The last Scream that we did was probably the greatest time I've ever had on a set. Just truly the most wonderful, sweetest cast, crew. So I think that anytime you get to work with people that you love, you're very, very lucky. I feel very, very fortunate. But then 2, it's I came into this job knowing it was just gonna be a good time, and it wasn't gonna feel like work.
The days we were shooting all that ladder stuff was really fun. That's a fun exercise for any actor, to ramp right up into it.
I want to
get
see
there.
how they shot
And that's
that.
what that was, 5 days in a
I'll
row
make sure
for
when
all
I
of
get
us
that
was
Blu-ray when it
at
comes out,
110
we'll watch
every day.
like a lot of the making of
giving
stuff on
it
there.
all. That was really fun, You're creating with your peers, with your friends, and you're trying to do something that you're proud of, and something like that. You're just giving it all.
In this one, the Core 4 was that kind of ingredient for us, where it was like, cool, this really gets to be about these characters, their relationship, how they're dealing with the past, how they're working together to get through this current ordeal. And, just to say it, the actors who play the Core 4 have become really close friends of ours, and so watching that relationship between them and with all of us together kind of evolve over the course of both movies is something just really special that I don't think we were expecting, and that I think you feel when you're watching the movie.
I think that the kills
definitely.
in this movie are, I don't know how
I connected to the cast a lot
Ghostface's
more.
arm didn't fall off. I mean, I've never seen more stabbings, more things. It was unbelievable. And like I said, after the first one, I just had to stop looking because it's crazy. There's more stabbings per person than I've ever seen. They found some new places to get stabbed, to
There's
stab
always-
people. You have to
always
make it
new
bigger and
places to
better.
stab
Of
people.
course, people expect that. If you didn't, it would, you have to amp it up every time. And they accomplished that. They did a great job.
Nice. That was cool. Oh, what? We got a couple things left. Okay, never mind. I like that. Let's see. Whoops. Where'd it go? So I don't know if this one's any different, but we will see. This one also just said behind the scenes. Skipping.
Ready and action.
I think this is the same thing.
I was given such a gift coming into this franchise in that way, you know?
Is this the
it's
same
always
thing?
It's always a gift to be able to join something that you grew up watching. I was a fan
Yes,
of,
I think this is the same thing.
of Scream, and
right?
I grew up
Let me know.
watching the movies and admiring these actors, and then being able to step in and act alongside them is
I think this is
surreal. But
different.
then also like having a little part
Okay.
of this story and coming in with a character that is related to one of the OGs is insane. It's incredible. And she's also, I would say, not the typical final girl, you know? And so
She's definitely not the
I
typical
enjoy
final
that.
girl.
I enjoy that darkness, and I enjoy
Like, instead
getting
of being
to play such a
worried
complex
for the final girl by the end of the movie,
character
I'm worried for
that
the killers.
divides
I'm like,
people.
Sam's about to fuck
you know,
them up.
some people are like
Every time.
really into her, and some people are like unsure because they don't know what's gonna happen with her. They don't know if they like her. They don't know if she's gonna turn. Like, it's all of these things that I personally enjoy.
What I think is
wouldn't be
really
surprised
wonderful
if they
about the
continue
relationship between Tara and
to
Sam in
explore her
Scream 5
darkness.
is, well, I view Tara as a very empathetic person. She's very loving and I think pretty forgiving. I think that the conversation that Sam and Tara has in the hospital is pretty rare for them, and I think that that's really it's really interesting of Tara, considering Sam left her for 5 years, and they, you know, so they kind of start close and then they're at odds and then they're close together again because they've been bonded not only by their sisterhood but this traumatic experience that they've gone through together. But coming into the second one, this is time has passed. Yes, of course, Tara loves
Some
her
of these
sister, and it's been
scenes
so
that are
nice to
showing
have
are
her
the
re-enter her
we've
life.
seen
The only issue
behind the
is
scenes.
now Sam will not leave her
But
alone
the
for a second.
interviews are different.
And I think that any teenager kind of understands, or just anyone in general, you know, sometimes you just need your space. You know, sometimes you're just worn down, and Tara does not have that opportunity. So, again, we're kind of going at each
relatable.
other's throats, but a bit more intensely than we were in the last one.
I love that scene too where Tara kills I can't remember his name. The brother though at the end. Easily one of the best parts.
Moving the Core 4 from Woodsboro to New York feels very of the moment and of
Yeah,
their
so, like,
generation.
see, this
I don't
interview
know
is
that
the
many
same.
young
So it's
people who
like
want to stay in their small
Ethan,
town.
yeah, Ethan.
And putting
I
them in
love
New
that
York
part.
gives them more opportunities, obviously, to be slashed and murdered, but also gives them more opportunity to
So it's like
expand their
some
friend group
of these
and
are
have
the
more
same
friends
and some of these
have
are
more
different.
diversity in their circle and be exposed to more ideas and thoughts, which I think lends itself to Ghostface being so much more brutal, because Ghostface is also exposed to more ideas and more ways of murdering, slicing and dicing.
It followed me here, and it's gonna keep coming
So are we
for
almost
us.
over? Okay, never mind.
One of the things that I think Kevin Williamson and of course Wes Craven brought to this franchise, and what they
Okay, I
did was
think
they
this-
created a horror film.
I think the rest of this is going to be the same. Let's check out. Where'd it go? Let's check out the deaths.
Now I see something red.
I did like that part. Not my favorite though. This was a good one.
Do you feel like an animal, Jason?
You can see his guts and intestines pouring out.
We have to finish the movie. Who gives a fuck about movies?
And that opening line right there. So good. I love the Mario sound effects for this video. And this one was really good. Ooh. This was one, yeah, definitely one of the best ones. Oof.
Just like you're not gonna be able to stop this.
We didn't really get to see that one. Oh yeah, that's probably the best one. Especially since it got stabbed like 30 times prior to that. Damn, the males got it good in this one. 10 male deaths and only 3 female. I like it. 1 second here. Move this screen over so I can see. So who is your guys' favorite? What do you think is the best death in Scream 6? I'm going to find this Evil Dead Rise video I got. Okay. Yeah, that was pretty bad because that's right. She did get like stabbed first and then pulled the knife up and then she basically like bled out for a long time. And then just the fear of having to be the last one to cross. And if you're not only if you're going to make it, but then Ghostface sitting there shaking it. So there was like a lot of buildup to it and then falling like you're alive while you're falling for 5 seconds. And then hitting her head on there. Who knows if she even died instantly? Like, that's crazy. She definitely got it the worst. But yeah, Detective Bailey. I would say it's between Detective Bailey and what is her name? What's the girlfriend's name again? I'm bad with names. I can't remember her name. Yeah, I don't. Let me know if you remember her name. Yeah, Anika. That's it. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, Anika and Detective Bailey. Those are my 2 favorites. And they both got it the worst, too. But Bailey deserved it while Anika didn't. I liked her character for what we, for the little bit that we got. The music was loud. Yeah, so I would say between those 2 deaths, I'm hoping, I kind of want to do like a kill ranking video for all 6 movies. Yeah, I mean, that did kind of, I had a small suspicion just because even before the movie came out and from the trailers, when they showed that shrine of all the evidence in the trailer, that made me think that whoever at least one of the killers is, they had to be a part of law enforcement in some way. That's also why I thought Kirby could be the killer once it was, revealed that she was an FBI agent. So I kind of did, but then the death did throw me off. I honestly, I don't know why I didn't think of that it could be a fake out. I didn't, even have that in the cards as a possibility. But yeah, at first I did kind of have Detective Bailey on my suspect list. Yeah, that would have been crazy if they picked Kirby though. But something's telling me that Sam could possibly be a killer in the next movie, but I don't think she's gonna like snap and go after their friends. I think she just might be killing people. Maybe it could either be bad people or just people that she doesn't trust. keep her and Sam, or her and Tara safe. But she's got the killer in her for sure. I don't want her to be the villain though. Like, I like seeing her take out the bad guys. Let me go ahead and pull up. Yeah, it would be interesting. Oh no, I never suspected Chad, but that's probably just because I really didn't want it to be him. I could have sworn that the writers and everyone has said that, you know, like everyone, the creators have said that Stu is officially dead. Like that he's actually dead. But they could still, you know, write it off somehow that he survived. Hey, Adriana. Glad you made it. We've only been live for like 31 minutes. We just watched some Scream 6 behind the scenes and all the deaths. We're just talking about stuff we liked about the movie right now. Yeah, I love Chad. And honestly, I did not expect at all that they would have a relationship, Tara and Chad. And if you would have told me like beforehand, I'd have been like, I can't really see that. But seeing it in the movie, they do have really good chemistry and they're perfect. I hope they stay together. I'm interested though, like, is Chad gonna be walking in the next movie? Is he gonna be like a Dewey situation? Because he did get stabbed like 30 times. Yeah, this live stream should stay public after it's done. The live stream we did last night, both of them got blocked because of a damn song that a character was humming in a horror short. It wasn't even like the actual song, which is crazy. But yeah, next we're gonna watch the Evil Dead Rise behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, honestly, like, we didn't get too much of Tara in Scream 5, and we didn't really get to see her like do much because she like got messed up in the beginning. But she was a badass in this one. The way she killed Ethan was, yeah. I'm not worried about her now. Yeah, I thought for sure Chad was dead. Like it's definitely one of those like he definitely should have died moments, but I don't care because I like his character so much. I'm glad he survived. So for Evil Dead, I have 3 videos. One is 5 minutes. It says it's a making of. Behind the sets, or best of behind the scenes and on-set bloopers with Alyssa Sutherland, the actress who plays the evil mom. She killed it. And then there's Evil Dead Rise, 10 Things You Missed. It's a Screen Rant video. And then the shocking visual effects in Evil Dead Rise. I'm hoping to like go into how they did some of the scenes in that one. But all right, let's go ahead. I only plan to stream for an hour, and since we're halfway through, we'll go ahead and we'll start the Evil Dead stuff now. Let me just hit open. Of course, there's ads. All right. Let me make sure the volume's up this time. All right, let me move this over. All right, this is on-set bloopers and behind the scenes with actress Alyssa Sutherland, who plays Mommy Dearest in Evil Dead Rise. Hopefully the volume's
There's progress happening, Connor. Putting you back on camera again.
Is that too loud, is it?
Yeah, you were beautiful in the camera tests that we did. Look, there's shit happening. Oh. And then I'm dropping shit that I shouldn't drop.
Oh wow, is this like the set before everything was
stuff
built?
Happening. There's building. shape of a corridor, the beginnings of an apartment.
That's crazy. They built
Some
the whole
people
thing.
that I work with.
I thought they shot in a real apartment building.
This is going to be a corridor where a hell of a lot of important shit is going to happen.
Oh yeah, that's the hallway.
It's starting to get built.
3, 2, 1, go!
That's cool that she's really doing all her own stunts. Is that a Minion? A Minion McDonald's box?
Dave, that's your best shot of the film.
She looks so creepy just hiding back there. Now I want McDonald's. How come every time we watch videos there's food in it?
Sisters.
Thanks, Stu. Okay, going up.
That's hilarious.
And turn over. That's good. And back, back.
That's crazy.
Yep. Are you rolling? Okay, sit. Okay, camera set, and up.
Oh, that is so cool. I heard about this. I didn't know there was a video of it though.
Didn't kill him. Killed him, right?
Oh, is this
Yeah, that was good.
the woods from the very beginning?
Tried some music for it. Yeah. It's good listening to what you guys talked about, though. That's good. It's good to hear what people
That's a-
thought their job was.
I mean, I don't like lakes, but it's a pretty lake.
Hang on, I never knew you did that.
For people who like lakes, I guess.
It's like, what, 6 p.m. on a Monday?
Something.
And we're going an E-pad to my forehead for a stunt.
Yeah, totally.
I wonder what stunt this is for.
Yeah, so I'm waiting to see the bruise that's good.
I got a bit sunburned at the beach. Still look hot though.
I bet that stuff's so sticky and hard to get off.
Luke's putting a vagina on my head.
Just covered in blood. It's good they had fun with it though. Oh, is this Jessica? Oh no, this no, not Jessica, but the other. I forget what her friend's name was. That got her scalp ripped off. That's crazy. It's a lot of work. Like recording voices and grunts. Damn, she's good. That's super cool. Hey, we saw that earlier. What happened to the sound? The sound just stopped? The hell? Why is there no sound? Look like a music video with her dancing in the elevator. There's no sound though. Were they using like a song and it got copyrighted? So this segment got muted or whatever? Because it says the sound is on. But there's just no sound in this video we're watching. Weird. I'm assuming they had like a... Yeah, see now the sound's back? Yeah, that part of the video probably got muted due to copyright. That was fun though. They look like they had a lot of fun making that. Let's check out the 10 things we missed apparently.
You could save hundreds
I
a year
didn't
on
miss it.
groceries at Aldi. No coupons or
You know what's
sales
funny?
required.
The one thing I actually did miss,
Right now, businesses are facing
and I didn't notice
tough
it until
choices. Do you
I
satisfy
watched someone's
shareholders
reaction.
Or
Was that in the very beginning, they say, like after that whole scene in the, you know, in the woods, it says 1 day earlier. I don't know how I missed that. I didn't see that. I must have looked over for a quick second, but I didn't see that it said 1 day earlier. So I didn't expect it to tie into, you know, the beginning like that. So when it was showed that this was actually a day earlier and, you know, they were transitioning to Jessica going to the lake, that was a crazy twist for me. I feel like, you know, a lot of other people saw it coming because it said 1 day earlier. I had no idea. So I feel like it probably would have even been better if they just didn't put 1 day earlier and then just let audiences find out at the end that this is taking place a day earlier. That probably would have played better, honestly. But I got fooled either way.
More to terrorize the living and the innocent in the newest Evil Dead movie. Drowning in all the blood and bile is a Bruce Campbell cameo and proof that you and I are doomed to repeat history ad infinitum. Just remember to stop this recording now if you don't want its unholy spoilers to be set free.
Well, that sounds fine to me.
Evil Dead Rise opens with an extremely familiar scene. 3 young adults standing
That house is so creepy looking, like the way it's
where
just
one
like
by one, each of them is
triangle.
killed or maimed by the evil forces that lurk amongst the trees. Don't get too comfortable watching though. This is just a rare dual pro epilogue to the family devouring story you have in store. The possession of Jessica is more than a cheeky movie tease. It is both a litmus test for you, the audience, and an homage to Evil Dead's long history. Within the first 10 minutes, you are given both the new rules of possession as well as a reintroduction to the gleeful goriness that made the franchise a household name to begin with. So
Hell
if
yeah.
scalping and drone blades to the face aren't your speed, the film may not be for you. But beyond the bountiful blood spilling is the formula we all know and love. Caleb is no Ash, but he does share the poor decision making. Even Jessica reading Wuthering Heights without seeing the pages resembles Cheryl's card guessing in the first movie.
I did
Now,
catch
why
that.
Deadites use their telepathy for party tricks is beyond me. But back to the point. I hope you aren't eating, because there is nothing more unappetizing than a rotting undead corpse. Henrietta Nobi haunted the nightmares of every 8-year-old who stole their dad's VHS collection. With her gray, ripped skin, bloated,
Henrietta is one of my
and
favorite
elongated
Deadites, too.
stop-motion neck, she was far from the prettiest Deadites. If you don't know who I'm talking about, then you should just rewatch
Henrietta,
Evil Dead
Evil
2.
Ash,
Though you should watch
and
it anyway and pay attention to the Professor
Mommy
Raymond
Ellie.
Nobi tape recordings, whose wife was possessed and buried under the cabin before the events of the second film. All caught up? Good. Because that horrifyingly hideous creature inspired devilishly delicious pizza. Henrietta's Pizza might be the best pizza this side of the Atlantic.
So I
but why it
didn't
evokes
catch
such
that?
Sinister imagery is beyond me. Unfortunately, we don't get to leave the late
I didn't
Professor's
catch
wife
that the
just
pizza
yet.
was
Her
Henrietta's
death wails
pizza.
will ring in our ears again further down the list.
Not in the first watch.
If
It
you've
wasn't
somehow made
until
it this far into the video
later.
without knowing who Bruce Campbell is and we're waiting for some explanation, congratulations. He is a seasoned Sam Raimi regular.
Hail to the king, baby.
From Spider-Man to Doctor Strange, he's in everything. Their relationship started all the way back in 1975 when the two were still in high school. From there, Raimi started making Super 8 films, and who better to be in them than his good friend Campbell. This led to a short film called Within the Woods, which itself eventually birthed the first Evil Dead. From there, it's history. Got it? Good.
Basically.
But Evil Dead Rise is not a Raimi
Have you guys
picture.
seen the
He was a
Ash
producer,
versus
sure,
Evil Dead
but the
show?
directing chops of Lee Cronin can
It's
be
so
thanked for
good.
this friendly romp. Bruce Campbell's cameo
So
is
much
solely
fun.
because he plays Ash. So where is the 6'1" silver screen powerhouse? It is admittedly hard to spot him in the claustrophobic setting because he isn't in it. He instead lent his voice to a scene that literally made my entire theater laugh. When Danny plays his groovy stolen record, you can hear the crowd shouting not to read the Necronomicon. And amongst the protests, there is one pretty good argument. Destroy it! It's called the Book of the Dead for a reason.
Yeah, I found this out
is the
afterwards,
voice of
too.
None other than Bruce Campbell.
Groovy.
Though if you thought I'd say someone else, you haven't been paying much attention. Hey, I guess you could say Ellie is like Evil Dead 2, because she was dead by dawn. If the musical can make bad puns and win an award, so can I. Back to the point though, Ellie was dead wrong. Not only was everyone in fact dead by dawn, she even failed to kill a fetus, which, as far as demonic villains go, is kind of weak sauce, not gonna lie. Deadites have been threatening
That's
that
funny.
since the 80s, and each time they are killed sooner rather than later. Where do these Deadites keep getting that idea from anyway? Well, all the way
Oh,
back to Evil Dead
is the
2, in
volume
fact.
still good?
None other than one Henrietta Nobi chants it gleefully.
Looks like it went down on my end, but let me know if it's still good for you.
But he's only a part demon. Dead by Dawn is almost synonymous with Evil Dead as a whole, and it would be blasphemous not to include it. Chainsaw aside, trust me, it's coming. The shotgun is probably the most recognizable weapon in the entire series.
That's
Even though it
true.
has changed its exact model over the decades, the most well-known has to be his boomstick, a 12-gauge double-barrel
Okay,
Remington.
thank you, Queen.
This bad boy can be found in the sporting goods section of your local S-Mart location.
Shop smart.
S-Smart.
Shop S-Smart.
Just be prepared to drop $240.31 in today's money. Inflation, the monster of capitalism since 1838. Not to
We're
mislead you,
definitely
of
going to
course.
play the
Ash's
Evil Dead Rise
top-of-the-line
video game this
S-Smart
week,
firearm
and we're going to
is
start
missing
streaming it
completely from this film.
on a regular.
Instead, you'll see a subtle shout-out to the sensational shotgun, because the only gun in the entire film is a double-barrel shotgun.
I'll let you guys
Sweet
pick
and
what
simple.
character I should
Before we
play,
move on, though,
from
I
which
have some
movie, and all that
questions.
stuff.
Why did Ash know where the gun came from? Simple answer, he just so happens to sell a similar gun at his work. Not a big deal, sure. Yet that doesn't explain why shotguns work in the first place. Deadites seem to be immune to stabbing, burning, slashing, smashing, and cerebral damage, just to name some of what we see. The only thing that can add an asterisk to their invulnerability seems to be a sawed-off shotgun. It wouldn't be
Well, it doesn't
entirely
necessarily
accurate to call the
kill
Evil
him.
Dead a horror franchise. Granted, it is blood-curdling and chilling most of the time. Humor, however, plays a huge part in its
I
foundation.
do plan
Rise
on
doesn't forget
finishing
that,
Resident
showing
Evil.
true respect for one
I
of
just wanna
comedy's
start,
greatest and most celebrated movies, The Shining. That's what I call
Evil
the
Dead this
reverse
week
bait
as
and switch.
well. Because that one's not like a story-based game. That one's just
Before
like
Beth and
multiplayer
Cassie can
matches,
escape their
so we could just hop
Kandarian
in, play a little
pursuer,
bit,
the elevator
you know.
fills with blood, and the two are sent into
And
a
after watching
ferocious
Evil Dead
free fall down
Rise,
an
I'm
elevator
really
shaft.
just
After
in
a
an Evil
moment,
Dead
the
mood.
elevator opens, and a flood of blood comes spilling out.
But I
If
think
you
I'm going to
haven't seen The
start
Shining
Resident Evil
somehow,
7
go
again
watch it.
this
The
weekend
Kubrick
for
version,
sure.
Not the King version.
Well, that just happens to be exactly what I'm looking for.
Because I do
This
want to
is
finish it and play Resident Evil
simultaneously
8.
the most and least original
and the
movie in
remake of
the Evil
4.
Dead series. The Mond Building, which itself is just an anagram.
Damn.
Kona Big Wave. Bring the
It's
aloha.
hitting us with the ads.
And for Demon
Okay.
is new, but the story taking place inside has been and will be told countless times. This is the first movie to take place in the city, and even the Necronomicon is missing its familiar
In a
smiling
sense.
face. However, it's more pop than
Ash
jack,
versus Evil
relying on
Dead
comfortable rhythms and
took
chords
place
of
all
its
over.
predecessors. Take Danny finding the Book of the Dead. A well-timed earthquake is new, but a basement holding a human skin-bound book with a recording of its translation is not. Then, a female lead leaves the main cast after someone starts to read the Necronomicon. An evil presence attacks her, restraining her by the arms and legs. Sure, this time it's wires, ropes, and not vines and roots, but the effect is the same. Last
Yeah.
and far worse than least, our old pal Henrietta rears her very ugly head again. Luckily, Ash blows it away soon after. When Ellie threatens to swallow Beth's soul, she's simply parroting the gruesome granny. Unfortunately for everyone involved, Ash wasn't there to blow that dead-eyed away. Rise also remakes the greatest mouth catch since Austin Powers vs. Britney Spears. Only it's a lot more gruesome than the one in Evil Dead 2. We even get to see what is left of Gabriel after his eye is forcefully bitten out of its socket. Now, the odds of Jake actually catching it in his mouth is
Funny
math that
enough,
would take
YouTube let
years
me
to
show that
figure out.
scene.
But the removal? That's easy. Now, the average human can exert just around 1.5 psi by blowing, far below the 12 psi needed to pop an eye out of its socket. Luckily, Ellie didn't care a lot about damaging
No, she
the eye or
sucked
its
that thing out
surroundings
like a
because she just
Dyson
popped it
vacuum.
off. A feat that isn't even that impressive. The average person has at least 120 psi.
El
by
Jefe,
it. That's
hell
10
yeah.
times the amount needed. So, at the end of the day, being taken over by a Kandarian demon seems to just turn you into a Floridian.
I thought it was kind of scary.
Jokes aside, don't try this at home. To the point here, Evil Dead is in love with lullabies. Horror as a genre is obsessed with children's songs and rhymes. Ellie singing to trick Cassie into letting
Oh,
her in
yeah,
holds
okay.
a twisted mirror to the exact same scene in Evil Dead 2. I'll
Yep.
explain. In Dead by Dawn, Annie starts to believe her mother has been relieved of the evil inside when she starts to sing Hush Little Baby, only to be stopped from opening the basement latch by Ash. Meanwhile, in Rise, Cassie falls for it hook, line, and sinker. Without an S-Mart employee to guide her, she just starts to trust her ex-mom with only mild hesitation. Rise uses the audience's familiarity with the setup against them. We are primed to expect someone to stop Cassie from opening the door if we saw Evil Dead 2. So, when nobody does, the attack is even more thrilling. Now, if you watched Evil Dead 2 after this movie, you're waiting for Henrietta to burst through those chains like the worst Jack-in-the-Box imaginable. And when Ash stops Annie, it feels so satisfying. The two are now in conversation with each other. Beautiful. Bruce Campbell is not the only one who makes reappearances in Raimi Productions. He is known to hide a
Oh, yeah, the car.
1973 Oldsmobile Delta 88 in his works. The car
Yeah.
makes its way into almost every Sam Raimi production imaginable. In fact, we even have an article about it on our website. If you're expecting me to tell you a long-winded tale about how it's hiding in some poster or in the parking garage somewhere, I have bad news. The car, like Campbell himself, is missing from the movie in the traditional sense. Cronin took a slightly askew take on the tradition. Everything Evil Dead related needs a chainsaw. It would feel empty without one. So when you
Very
add
true.
this to the movie, Cronin hit two birds with one stone. So even though it's missing its ruby color, it gains a lovable and familiar honey mustard yellow.
Nice.
You're in luck. This story has a happy ending. The film was a fresh take
Does
on
it?
an old formula bound in the skin of all those who would come before. Be
Does it
careful
have
not
a
to
happy
play any
ending?
unknown
Because I'm
tapes
pretty
or
sure
records. Definitely don't read that creepy book you found in the fruit cellar either.
that girl is going to need therapy for the rest of her life. Let's watch
At
this one.
Spectrum, we're always working to bring
This one is
you
the shocking
better ways
visual
to
effects in
connect.
Evil Dead
Get it all
Rise.
with Spectrum One, with Spectrum Internet.
I hope this new movie
nice.
makes you puke. Well, at least that's what the director of Evil Dead Rise wanted audience to do when they saw this new movie. Evil Dead Rise is actually
think a movie
quite
could
a
ever make me
fascinating
puke.
film, considering that it was supposed to go straight to streaming on HBO, but when it got such a positive result in the testing phase, they decided to send it to theaters. For being the 5th installment of the Evil Dead film series, it was actually quite good, getting back to the good old practical filmmaking that has always been a staple of solid horror movies, which of course has been the staple that director Sam Raimi has brought to the previous 4 films. This time, he passed the baton on to Lee Cronin, who directed and wrote the script for Evil Dead Rise. So with the unexpected success of this movie, let's take a look at the DIY and practical mentality that makes this film so interesting, from the 1,700 gallons of movie blood that cost $231,000 to building
That's
the sound effects
crazy.
of
I didn't know
evil
that's how much
to
it cost.
fascinating lens choices and creepy golden contact lenses. Yeah, let's get into this.
I want those contact lenses. I've never used contacts though. I'm always scared.
As always, let's get a quick sense of the camera and lenses used in this film. This film uses the Arri Alexa Mini LF, the smaller version of the Alexa LF we talked about in the John Wick video a few weeks ago. It is, of course, our intention to dive a bit deeper into large format cameras versus Super 35 cameras here soon. However, the Alexa LF Mini version makes sense for this film in particular, since it takes place in a tightly controlled space in one condo in a skyscraper. With its body weight of 5.7 pounds, this allows cinematographers to fit into tight spaces, use more handheld filmmaking techniques, and have a bit more room for creativity that the 17-pound Alexa LF makes
That's
a bit
way
more
smaller and
complicated.
lighter.
This camera was used for Stranger Things and The Batman, so it's no slouch of a camera, and it's a very logical choice for this film.
Nothing a big ol' hug and kiss from you won't fix.
Now, the lens section is where things get really interesting. They use the Panavision Ultra Panatar lenses, the T-Series lenses, and the Panavision G-Series
Don't know what any of those are, but
anamorphic
dope.
lenses. This is notable because of the larger format sensor. The Panavision G-Series lenses were built for Super 35 cameras, so how and why were they used to film this movie
Yeah, that
on a
peephole
large
shot was so
format
cool. I
sensor?
loved how that
Well,
looked.
The funny thing is with the term large format is that really nowadays just means anything above a Super 35 sensor and has a wide range of sizes. Some massive like the Alexa 65 and some a lot smaller like the Arri Mini LF, which you can see by this chart. It's not really that much larger than the Alexa Mini. So in theory, you can use the Super 35mm lens on the Mini LF. And Fury Motion Picture Company has a great video on this we've linked below if you'd like to learn more about it.
Now, I've actually talked to a surprising number of people who think that their Super 35 lenses are useless on a full frame camera, but honestly, there's a few options. Now, obviously, if you're going to put Super 35 lenses on a large format camera, there's going to be some limitations and some compromises. The question then is, are those compromises and limitations acceptable for your particular project?
And from this video, I've kind of gleaned a little bit of information about why I think they were used for this movie. Some anamorphics cover a larger area than necessary for Super 35, because as my good friend from France, JC, pointed out, this allows you to use more of the center of the glass, which gives out less distortion. But using it on an LF sensor, you start to hit the edges and the fringes of the lens itself,
that's cool.
adding distortions back in and adding a bit of a character to the final image. You can see this in some of the scenes in the movie, with exaggerated curvature on the edges of the shot and also slight vignetting at times in the corners of the footage. This actually plays very well for a horror movie, giving it some weird, unnatural looking shots that help you feel even more uneasy. And I think that's used to great effect throughout this movie. All of this to say, understanding gear and lenses can help to achieve a desired look by breaking the rules, in a sense. Putting all of this together in the camera is cinematographer Dave Garbeth, who also worked on Ash vs. Evil Dead, the TV show version of this series.
The cinematography in this was amazing.
And wouldn't you know it, Panavision G-Series lenses were also used on Sweet Tooth.
Do it for Mom and Dad.
No self-respecting horror movies are complete without really digging into the sound effects and sound design, as it really is the beating heart of all horror movies. In fact, many times in horror movies, they use a secret weapon that you can't even hear at times called infrasound.
We've helped millions
Really?
of creators improve
Damn
their
it, I was
SEO
trying
to
to-
grow their YouTube channels.
God damn it.
TubeBuddy is a platform
Killing
that-
us. Well, I hear that. That's crazy.
Humans can feel this sound at a frequency of 19 hertz, and it's just below the threshold at which humans can actually hear at 20 hertz. And this is where it gets interesting. In nature, this frequency or sound exists and can make us feel incredibly unsettled. Infrasounds can be found in avalanches, earthquakes, and wind, and many other natural events. The
That
movie
is cool.
Paranormal
I
Activity
didn't know
is even
that.
rumored to have used infrasounds in their movie in 2002. The point is, there are sounds in nature, even beyond these, that invoke an instinctual feeling of fear in most humans, and Hollywood knows this.
Yeah, the bass in that voice, it's crazy. This just makes me want to watch the movie again. I'm gonna watch it.
Director Cronin said this
Right after
about
this
creating the
stream.
soundscape for the movie. I take sound extremely
I
seriously,
wanna turn the sound
and I'm
all the
glad
way
that
up.
the people are connecting with the soundtrack, the soundscape of the movie, from the music to the sound design. It's a full noise film. This movie does a great job of heightening the sound
Yep.
of literally everything that makes sound in the movie, from fingernails on a bathtub to the fire of a gas stove, which plays with the heightened nature that is typical in the human physiological response to danger. When our fight or flight response is triggered, our senses are heightened. And when watching horror movies, our fight or flight response can be set off by what is happening on the screen. So what better way to design a soundscape and sound effects than to design it around human physiological response to a situation like this? And this movie's sound effects do just that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I want to see what was practical.
Now, moving on to the practical effects in this movie, Alyssa
That
Sutherland,
scene of her
who plays the
dancing is
mother
so
who
funny.
gets possessed in the movie, was quoted saying that there were no digital effects used in this movie. In this film, as the character that is possessed slowly turned from human-like to something less so, Cronin uses stunt doubles, specifically in some of the crazy, unnatural wall-climbing scenes. In the past, Raimi had used stop motion to get that unnatural human movement down as well. So a lot of interesting techniques used throughout this series. There's also tons of makeup to help sell the realistic aspects of this movie.
Yep.
And, of course, golden contacts to make the possessed character's eyes
I
seem
love those
unnatural,
eyes. They're
which is
so
actually a step
creepy, but so
above what
cool at the
Raimi
same
had
time.
used in the past, which actually blinded actors while they wore them.
I was the contact lens technician on set. They would have to rehearse all the scenes without their lenses in so they could see where they had to go. Then
That's
they'd go,
crazy.
okay, we're ready to shoot. And I would run in, put all their contacts in, and then they would do the scenes. But what people don't realize is their contact lenses were completely white. There was no hole for the pupil for them to see.
When Cronin was asked
Oh,
about
wow.
using digital effects to help with some of the
You can find that
imperfections,
these days.
he said, "When it comes to digital effects, how I always operate is that I use them to enhance, but not to define. I more use
I
digital
say that all
effects
the
to
time.
knit little things together, to extend things slightly, to add a little bit, and
Nothing's
to
wrong with
polish.
digital
But
effects.
the spirit of every single effect done
Just
to
use
the
it to
moment in this
enhance.
film was practical. In this movie, one of the biggest practical effects was the use of fake blood, which led to the movie actually getting banned in Germany because of the graphic content.
Really? I didn't know that. Germany said, no, we can't do
Everybody
that.
here dies by dawn, Dad.
In order to make the blood a bit more visceral in the movie, they used a very thick, soupy mixture of blood.
There was a lot of blood, yeah, so we did have to, the volume we had to create required this kind of like a cookhouse. It was like a blood meth lab. It was 6,500 liters of blood that we used.
They had
It's
Heisenberg in
always a
there
tricky
cooking
one
up
to handle
blood.
because it's so messy and it's so hard to kind of clean up, but we kind of really went for it, and it was important in a movie like this.
And they used it everywhere, from scenes reminiscent of a Billie Eilish music video to literally filling an entire elevator with fake blood. Throughout this movie, the commitment to using practical elements like fake blood constantly grounded the movie and made it feel more visceral and more immersive. You never saw a shot that pulled you out of this movie. And another movie that actually achieved this immersion through composition was Knock at the Cabin. And while it was
I
what you
love
could
that
say
movie.
a mediocre story, the
it was
cinematography
good.
of it stole the show and kept it from being an absolute failure.
Yeah, the
So
cinematography
check
was
out
really
how
good.
cinematography saved this
Is that
movie
the end?
here.
Oh, okay. That was a really fun video. Very informative. I liked everything we learned with that one. All right, well, that's all the videos that we are going to watch today. For the next live stream, I think So tomorrow I have tooth surgery. I'm getting a tooth removed and an implant put in and all that stuff really early in the morning. So if I feel good and okay by the end of the night, we'll do Evil Dead, the video game, tomorrow. But if I need like a day or two to recover, I'll just post it on the community page and let you guys know. But I'm planning on doing it tomorrow night because I'm just really in the mood to play it now. Oh, is my mic still working? Okay, it's still working. But yeah, tomorrow it'll probably be, I might be able to start a little bit earlier because I have the day off tomorrow because of the tooth appointment. But like I said, we'll just see. I don't know if I'm going to be in pain or if I'm just going to be hopped up on painkillers. But I'll definitely let you guys know. I do plan to want to do it tomorrow, probably like 8, maybe 9, no later than 9. Because I like doing a little bit earlier at 9, so we can hopefully go longer. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. Queen, Adriana, Hannah, whoever else was in here, but not typing, being all quiet, that's fine as well. I just enjoy you guys being here, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Just keep an eye on the community page, and I'll let you guys know what time we'll do the Evil Dead video game stream tomorrow. And I am going to have the Gate 2 reaction comes out this week, and then I'm going to do a full reaction for the original Night of the Living Dead. And I put up a poll to see if you guys wanted me to live stream it, the whole movie, or just post it as a reaction. And I think more people voted for the reaction. I have to check the poll again, but I think more people just want me to post it as a reaction. So I'll let you guys know in the community tab as far as that goes as well. But yeah, other than that, thanks for joining, guys. You guys have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow.